everybody, it's Matt from the house, and I'm here with Jayson from Burton, and he's gonna give us a little run through on the family tree line from Burton for the 21-22 season. So let's check this stuff out.
Yeah, so starting out for 22, one thing that we just found through a lot of our customer insights, things like that, more people are just all mountain free riding. And whether that's, you know, in the backcountry in Jackson Hole, or it's at your local, 300-foot vertical hill. People aren't necessarily just going in the park, ride and switch all the time, in that freestyle category. More people are they want one board that's just more for all mountain free riding.
And that makes sense too, because it's guys like us that grew up riding the park all day long. And I still like to ride the park, but it beats you up and you still want to go ride, but you can't ride park all day long, but you still want to get out and ride. So you definitely need a line like this to get you out there.
And it's like, you got to be honest with yourself. Like, how much are you really riding switch? You're riding switch less than 10% of the time. Get yourself a board that's more all mountain free ride with some taper to it. I mean, these boards ride, that's the thing, is boards in this category are very versatile. They're not just for pow, or they're not just for, dropping cliffs, that sort of thing. I mean, they're just great riding boards. So that's really what we've seen just, over the past few years, is that the all mountain free ride category is really, becoming a huge part of snowboarding, but just within our line. And especially with the family tree kind of geared towards that all mountain free riding, we keep adding some new models. Before it was like, okay, we'll put in the family tree, these crazy, prototype shapes, whatever, and then we'll blow it up and start all over for next year, that sort of thing. But with, with the boards becoming a little bit more sought out, and there's, people that that want to come back and they want to get that hometown hero. They want that Pow Wrench, the stuff that's really built some stability into the line. We're still having that. We're just adding a couple more, to that. So
for this year, we're basically we have a board that's going to be a staple, but we're still adding something that's a little different, but just kind of adding
because that new stuff is fun. We're all, it's just a little different. It's not just the same thing or whatever, but it's
makes sense.
Yeah. And then how we're really breaking out the kind of categories within the family tree. We've got kind of what we consider kind of surfy pow. Something that's easy to ride. Yeah. Or we have all mountain. So you want something that's really gonna work really well everywhere. Guys that are running natural selection, they're riding landing switch and powder, they're hitting groomers, maybe even rolling through the park. You got some stability there. Or you've got your kind of big mountain, big lines, big drops, chutes, that sort of thing there. So that's kind of how we're really thinking about the family tree line.
Cool.
So then just kind of starting out, we'll talk about this little guy.
Oh, looks so much fun.
Yeah, so we got the Backseat Driver, so really good price point pow surfer. So, don't have to break the bank there for those people that are at the benefit of having, that get bored snowboarding in powder and have powder days to waste. You have the pow surfer there.
And if you don't have enough money for bindings, you don't need them.
There you go. So then this year's mystery board. So they always bring back a kind of a classic shape and do the mystery construction. Yeah, so we got the mystery juice wagon.
Oh my God.
So
I know how light these things are.
Yep.
But every year you pick it up and you're always surprised as actually how light it is.
Super light, but not like, we were talking a little bit about it before, but it's not like unrideable light. It's not like you're going off a jump with just your bindings on your feet. Like, they're very well balanced. They hold a really good edge. It is that mystery glass. We run that vertically between the laminates and the core. It's got the methyl base. Basically,
we just get a little insight there.
Yeah. So
for all you guys like to nerd out on the tech like me.
Yeah. Whew. So that's that was kind of always a favorite board of a lot of people. So 12 millimeters of taper, straight up taper, no balance free ride. So it's a tapered kind of aggressive free ride board. So
crowd favorite.
Yeah, that one's pretty stoked on that one. So then getting into the regular line, so kind of more in the kind of surfy pow aspect of things. You got the Pow Wrench, and then you have the wave tracer. So the Pow Wrench is kind of like your short line. So it is that flat top end, early rise, quite a bit of taper, but a really a little bit wider waist twist. So you can definitely downsize these.
A little bit of a volume shift on that one.
Yep.
Perfect.
So it's got the kind of notched out tail, looks like a wrench. Mr. Downing and all of his wisdom kind of just said, hey, that looks like a wrench. Let's call it the Pow Wrench.
Just realizing I was today years old when I realized that, even though that board's been out for an entire year now.
Yep.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah. So killer board in the trees, again, flat, just they turn super easy. Again, being that kind of volume shift board, you can ride them shorter if you want. But again, they're really easy riding, so you don't really have to.
Yeah.
So then a new board is the Wave Tracer. So this was kind of something, again, we're making extended sizing throughout the whole family tree line. So if your board does not know if you're a man or a woman, it just knows how big you are.
Perfect.
So, so we're making extended sizes in all these. So this is one that kind of came from a board called the Rise that Donna and Kelly Clark worked on. It was a very limited board. There was only like a few of them made.
I don't even remember that thing.
Yeah, so that's where the Wave Tracer comes in.
Cool.
So, and a lot of it was taken from a board that we made years ago called the Barracuda.
I do remember that.
So this one is rocker through the middle. Ooh. So, and it does have just, flat and then rise past the bindings there, and then just camber under the back foot.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of, you got that super easy turn, but then you've got just the camber into the back foot to really kind of dig in and finish that turn if you need to. But
it gives you a lot of push out of your turns too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, with it being tapered, having that rocker nose, I mean, this thing just, it turns on a dime. It's just super easy riding, quick to the trees, super floaty, but again, it's kind of like you got that little, almost like a toe pick in the back, just.
Toe peak.
Yeah, so that's where the Wave Tracer comes in.
Sick.
Yeah, pretty stoked on that. I'm typically a camber guy personally, but that was like one of my favorite like hybrid boards I've ever ridden. So
awesome.
But that's just me.
Hey.
Then you get into the all mountain kind of category. So one that does everything well, that sort of thing. So then bringing back the hometown hero is just such a staple in our line. This is one of those boards that it feels like you've been riding it for years. It's that it's almost like the free ride version of like a custom. It does everything well. Jump on it, feels like you've been riding it for years. A little bit different glassing through the middle of the board, so it does have really easy foot steer, but then you have that stability built from the tips out. So this thing turns easy, but still holds a really good edge. So then you get into the balance free ride again, that tapers past the upturn, so you got that longer nose to float really well in deep snow, but if you're rolling through the park or on those calf burning, traverses, that sort of thing, this thing rides switch, really well. So
it's like that free ride board that nobody hates.
That's right.
Everybody loves it.
Yep, ton of sizes in it. So.
And then new for this year.
Yep. So then we got the Showstopper. So kind of a little bit of an evolution to the Big Gulp that was in the line last year. This is definitely a much wider chassis on this. Still directional camber, through the middle of the board. Early rise. It's got the balance free ride again, so it's going to turn really easy. Going backwards, but once you really get this thing in deep snow, it's going to become really directional. A little deeper side cut too. That's one thing with these wider boards. You put a little deeper side cut and they turn quicker. So it doesn't, like you're riding a wider board, but they turn a lot quicker than what a normal, like if you have a small foot and you're riding a wide board, they get real sluggish. Like this is just not like that at all. They have a lot of energy built into them with that camber, but they actually do change directions really easy. So, but again, that really super wide waist width, you can just really lay over the cars on them, if you're seeing that, booting out, that sort of thing. So,
but it doesn't feel like you're trying to turn a coffee table.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So then you get into the kind of more big mountain, kind of steep lines, category. So you got the straight Chuter. So this is kind of Danny's more kind of backcountry big mountain board. So kind of that custom X level construction, a little bit lighter weight, a little more carbon in it, but does have that directional camber to about right here. Okay. And then it does have a really long swooping nose.
Yeah, you can see it's real mellow too. So
super mellow.
Planes off super quick.
Yeah, it just, it pops up and planes out super easy instead of having, like this crazy, sharp kick that you have to like plow and then have to pop up. So, not a super deep side cut either. So what's nice about boards that don't have this super deep side cut, they have a much smoother turn, especially in deep snow. You don't have the board loading up underneath you and kicking you over the bars. They're really surfy and really long,
nice,
big lines.
easy, long turns on that thing. So perfect.
And then a board that we had in the line last year, but brought it back kind of by popular demand. We got the leaderboard. So Steve Klassen owns Wave Rave. Shout out to him. Worked with him on this board. He's like multi-time world extreme free ride champion, and that thing is if somebody wants a board that's super aggressive, big mountains like that thing is, you're dropping huge cliffs, huge lines. This board is the most aggressive riding board in the line, but it's again doesn't have a whole really super deep side cut, so it has really smooth turning, but the board is pretty stiff through the middle, and it does at the contact points have a spooned out nose and tail a little bit. Yeah,
I wasn't ready for that.
Leader board, it's a board.
It's a board.
Like you got to be on your game to ride that thing, but
don't doubt it for sure.
So that's kind of the story on that one. That is a big mountain board.
Yeah, big mountain board for some big guys, and want to charge big too.
Yep.
I like the shape on it too. Just it's funny,
Not
like
too crazy.
All the blended nose and tail. Like obviously, growing up in that freestyle era in the late '90s and early 2000s, all the blended noses, and it's kind of rad to see it on a little bit more of a freeride board. And then I'm also catching a little bit here in the is that?
That's that spooned out nose and tail stuff. Yeah. So it's got the scoop nose right at the contact points. It spoons it up just a little bit. So these boards, they track really straight. Yeah, they don't get super edgy on hard pack, that sort of thing.
And everybody can benefit from that. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah. So if you're a big dude that likes to ride big stuff, that's the board there. So,
I bet. Cool.
So yeah, that's kind of the rundown of the 22 Family Tree line.
All right. Well, thanks for checking out the Family Tree line, and obviously we've got a lot of boards for a lot of different riders, and it's kind of nice too because you can literally say like, this is the kind of riding style I am, and boom, you got a couple different boards to choose from, whether you want to ride POW or whether you want to ride the rest of the mountain, or if you just want to go fast and charge hard, they've got a board for you. So it's a good line, but it's not too big, and it's for a growing category of people that just want to ride the entire mountain, still have some fun in the POW, and maybe not spending too much time in the park. There's obviously a board for you, no problem. So if you have any questions about any of these boards or any of the other Burton boards at thehouse.com, leave us a comment down below. We're on there every day answering your questions. We want to make sure that if you're still not sure what board, we can get you into the right board for your riding style. Like, subscribe, get that bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And whether you're all mountain, POW, or even you're going to do some surfing without some bindings, get out and ride, because any day of riding is a good day of riding. All right, we got our thing, cool.
All right, gotta make sure we have that.
We got our random.
It's like our pacifier. I have that, I'm good.
I'm gonna be okay.
I need my blankie.